Jesus opens his mouth not to curse, not to condemn, but to pray. He says, Father, forgive them. Yeah, not after the pain was over. Not after they have apologized. But while the nails are still in his hands, he offers up a prayer in the midst of pain. Jesus teaches us something powerful here. He teaches us that forgiveness is not reserved for when the hurt is over. But forgiveness is often required while the wound is still fresh. They have beaten him. They've lied on him. They've nailed him to a cross. And yet he looks up to heaven and says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Many of us perhaps are waiting for the pain to pass before we forgive. But Jesus shows us that forgiveness is not about timing, it's about obedience. Yeah, and perhaps you're here tonight and you're hurting. Maybe they've talked about you. Maybe they've lied on you. Maybe they've mistreated you or misunderstood you. But the question is, can you pray while you're still in pain? Jesus prays in the midst of pain, but secondly, he forgives without an apology. Notice what Jesus did not say. He did not say, Father, forgive them because they asked for it. He did not say, Father, forgive them because they deserve it. He said, Father, forgive them because they don't even know what they're doing. In other words, sometimes people might hurt you out of their own blindness. Sometimes people might hurt you out of their own brokenness. Sometimes people may hurt you out of their own ignorance. And if you wait on an apology, you may just remain bound and captive in bitterness, waiting for somebody else to say, I'm sorry. Yeah, because forgiveness is not about freeing them. Forgiveness is about freeing you. And if you refuse to forgive, you'll find yourself reliving what they did. But when you forgive, you release the weight off of your own spirit. So Jesus prays in the midst of pain. He offers forgiveness without an apology, but then he shows compassion in the face of cruelty. Yeah, Jesus didn't just give forgiveness. He shows compassion. When he says, Father, forgive them, he saw beyond their actions and into their condition, because he recognized that sin had blinded them. And church, if we're honest, there have been times when we did not know what we were doing either. Times when we made our own mistakes, times when we may have hurt somebody else, times when we ourselves fell short. And just like Jesus prayed for them, there was somebody that was praying for us. Oh, God. And I don't know about you, but I'm grateful for the people who prayed for me. Jesus prays from a place of compassion, and he says, Father, forgive them. This statement is not just a moment, but this statement is a message. It's a message that says the cross is about forgiveness. It's a message that says the blood is about forgiveness. It's a message that says grace is about forgiveness. And if Jesus had chosen not to forgive, then none of us would have a chance today. But because he said, Father, forgive them, you and I can stand today forgiven. Because he says, Father, forgive them, you and I can stand today redeemed. Because he said, Father, forgive them, you and I can now stand restored. And the real question tonight is not what did they do. The real question is, can you do what Jesus did? Can you look at the one who hurt you and say, Father, forgive them? Can you release what's been weighing on your heart? Can you let go of the bitterness? Can you drop that grudge? Because when you forgive, you don't just act like Jesus. You become like Jesus. And I don't know about you, but I'm so glad that Jesus forgave me. Because I was sinking deep in sin, far from the peaceful shore, very deeply stained within, sinking to rise no more. But the master of the sea, he heard my despairing cry, and from the waters he lifted me. Now safe am I on a hill called Calvary, Well, hanging between heaven and earth. Jesus declared a word that still echoes today. Father, forgive them. And I wish I had a witness here who was glad that Jesus prayed. Glad that he's interceding for you even now. Because he said, Father, forgive them. You and I are forgiven.